I'm getting there, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you have not been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today I have The Liar's Girl by Catherine Ryan Howard. I am really enjoying this Catherine Ryan Howard kick that I am on. It is... Alright, yeah, this is crime thriller psychological stuff. It says romance in the genre, which I kind of understand, but also don't. Let's just get in with that though, shall we? Her first love confessed to 5 murders, but the truth was so much worse. Dublin's notorious canal killer, Will Hurley, is 10 years into his life sentence when the body of a young woman is fished out of the Grand Canal. Though detectives suspect they are dealing with a copycat, they turn to Will for help. He claims he has the information the police need, but will only give it to one person, the girl he was dating when he committed his horrific crimes. Alison Smith has spent the last decade abroad, putting her shattered life in Ireland far behind her, but when she gets a request from Dublin imploring her to help prevent another senseless murder, she is pulled back to face the past and the man she had worked so hard to forget. It's 336 pages. I think this was her first book, because all the things say about her it's a debut novel, so it looks like it was the first one. I bloody enjoyed this. And there was something about the title that I just kept coming back to, The Liar's Girl, because obviously Will only talk to Alison, which was because they were dating while they were at university when all this happened. I just say it is called The Liar's Girl for a reason. There is a lie being told. You just need to figure out which one. You need to figure out what the lie is, because it's not quite what you think. Unless you saw all the things that I didn't see and you actually figured it out, which I did not. So you're seeing it all through Alison's point of view, and you keep going to back then and now. And yeah, so she was dating Will when the canal murders were happening, where basically women were being found in the canal and finding out that they had been hit violently before then being dumped into the canal. And it's only after one of Alison's friends is killed that they are able to focus on Will as the killer. I had my question marks over Will pretty much all the way through, to be honest, because when the first time you meet Will, and which is right at the beginning of the book, he is in prison. He sees something on the television which talks about the new murders, and he goes like, this is my time to like tell the truth or whatever. And you're just like, if there is a truth to tell, why are you waiting until another murder has happened? He sees it as his way out of proving like it's not him, as if it's the same person doing it again, which isn't that far outside the realm of possibility, but just the way Will is presented throughout the book and the way he talks to Alison when Alison finally agrees to talk to him, it's like he's trying to fix the relationship, but that's never going to happen, because especially when you see where it ends up and you're just like, Alison will still never forgive Will for what she knows he has done versus what she doesn't know what he's done, because it's one of those ones where at the end you finally get a point of view from Will and you find out the truth, which is the truth that nobody else will ever find out. And you're just like, why I gotta... I feel like I'm being quite cagey about this one, just because of this potential spoilers and a lot of twists that happen and how it comes back to her friendship with the girl that ends up dying. But yeah, you're also looking at the friendship that Alison has with her friend that does die. So when you're going backwards and forwards and you're just like going, oh, okay. So now we know that this character is going to die at the hands of the killer. As I said, it's about that friendship and the fact that it's quite a toxic friendship. I mean, I think all of us can probably identify with that kind of friendship one way or another. Being friends with somebody who seems quite narcissistic, is very good at turning on you. Unfortunately, I have experienced a friendship like that. Looking back on it, I just think, because I always say that as an introvert, I've always been adopted by extroverts. And there's one particular extrovert that I can think of where I just think, at the time, I felt like we were really, really good friends. And now I can look back on it and think, I can see the red flags now that I couldn't see back then. Not to say that that friendship was a complete unfriendship, if that's a way to put it. It's just, I know better now about what that friendship actually was, and I feel like, in a way, I was being taken advantage of. Deb, shut up, this isn't about you. But yeah, just looking at that friendship that they have, kind of like that friendship drama when you're at uni, when you go with somebody who you know, and then you start to make other friends. Basically, Alison's friend kind of turns on her a little bit. I can't remember the friend's name. Liz. Liz is the friend. It took me a while to get there. But yeah, their friendship is just one that Alison is taken advantage of in that friendship, and then Liz goes like hot and cold, so she'll randomly take a grudge against Alison for no apparent reason, and Alison at the point of her, do I just apologise, or do I just kind of give her the air and eventually she'll come back round again? So yeah, it's a very interesting friendship that they have, and you also look at Alison struggling with kind of some of the guilt that she has over that friendship, considering the fact that Liz does die, and so I think that is a very interesting place to be in. So you're seeing her perceived guilt over what their friendship was at the time that Liz died, and how she can't get that time back. I can only imagine how strange it must be to have a friendship like that and then somebody dies, because that must be such a complicated feeling to have, having that kind of guilt. To be fair, there's so many situations that I can think of where somebody feels guilt about maybe the last thing they said to somebody before they died, and yeah, that's what Alison is dealing with. But at the same time, you know, she left Ireland for a reason, and the fact that she's being brought back by the ex, and it was just like, I feel like Will knew exactly what he was doing when he decided to talk to only Alison, and his motives become more clear as you read the book, and I'm really trying to be careful, because it is fairly twisty-turny, this one, and it's one of those ones that it turns straight on you again when you're reading that final chapter. I do find it quite satisfying when an author does that to you. I once read a book where it was literally on the final page that there was a huge twist put on you, where it was just like, oh my god! Oh god! I guess what it must be kind of like what horror movies do for some people, where they want that adrenaline. I love the adrenaline of getting a twist on the final page or the final chapter, or even just that last line. Oh my god, it is such a strange feeling, but it's also like, it's like, it gives like an actual physical reaction. That was my wrist that just clicked. But yeah, and also she also has a guilt over what happened with Will when Will got turned over to the police, because you find out that there's a bit of guilt there as well, based on what she said to the police, based on what happened the night that Liz died. Oh. Yeah, the guilt that Alison is feeling, and at the end of it, you just want to give her a hug. You're just like, none of this was your fault, girl. Absolutely none of it. You had a friend that was going hot and cold on you, and you had absolutely no knowledge of how to react. It was just like, I wouldn't expect anybody know how to react to a friendship like that. And then also dealing with the fact that her university boyfriend is in prison for killing 5 girls. Like, it's no wonder she moved. And then when she comes back and she sees her parents, and they're just like, maybe you should move on. And it was just like, I was trying to, and then I was brought back into this bloody mess. And yeah, so I thought about it. I did really just want to give Alison a huge hug and say, I kind of didn't want her to talk to Will anymore. I was just like, stop talking to him. The friendship you're having with the police is getting a bit weird. There's a point when she starts staying at one of their houses, and you're just like, where is this going? But then as more things come out, you're just like, oh. Yeah. There's so much packed into 336 pages. Having read this, I feel like it could have been 1,000 pages, based on how much information is crammed into those pages. How many times can I say pages in less than 10 seconds? I loved it. If you like your Catherine Ryan Howard, if you like your psychological stuff, if you like your crime and thriller, if you like your murder mystery, I think the only reason that romance is in there is looking a little bit at Alison and Will's relationship through the past chapters. And then there's also, well, it's not really, because I was thinking about the officer that she mainly communicates with, but then he's in a relationship and you see who he's in a relationship with, so it's a friendship. There's hints of flirting, but it's not really. So yeah, I'm not completely sure why the romance is there. I think it's mainly looking at Alison and Will's early relationship, because once he's arrested, that relationship ends up in tatters, and yeah, by the end of it, I did just want to strangle Will for the lies. Yeah, as I said, called The Liar's Girl for a reason. It's just figuring out what lie is being told. And yeah, I will say, for me, it all comes back to, I think, is it the second chapter? Because the first chapter is looking at somebody else, but I think it's the second chapter where he gets the news that another girl has died in the canal, and he was just like, this is my moment, and it's just like, you had 10 years. Why now? But yeah, Liar's Girl, Catherine Ryan Howard. This really did have me on the edge of my seat, and I did not want to put it down. At all. Yeah. But yeah, Deb's pat on the back. Got one more video to make and you're all caught up. Until I can finish another book. But yeah, so if you've read any Catherine Ryan Howard, please let me know what is your favourite. Of the ones that I have read so far, Runtime was the first one, and I really, really enjoyed that. The Nothing Man had something about it with being a book within a book. I don't think I can choose, because 56 Days was bloody good as well. I've realised there's kind of a black and red theme going on through the other ones. Because when you look at them together, the three, a black and red theme, but then this was the first one apparently, and it has a little bit of that, but it's not completely black and red, because you're looking at a shadow of someone over some water with a little remnant of skeleton at the bottom. It was just bloody good, I'll tell you that. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you next time with another video. Stay safe, I love you all. Bye. I don't think that'll make it in depths. That won't make it in depths. That won't make it in. Oh. I accidentally kicked the camera out of the way. What was I about there? Yeah.